Welcome. You are with the Skeinz Diaries. Help if I move this, doesn't it? Marie here, and as you can see, I'm in the office. Episode 326. I know, it's been a big weekend. It's been a huge weekend. I have just got back from Capital Fibre Fest. Welcome along. If you came to Capital Fibre Fest, they do. Zoe and her team do such a wonderful, wonderful job down there. That Upper Hutt Spinners and Weavers group really are fabulous. All that entire team are just amazing. They're seriously amazing. I love that event. It is so wonderful. The venue is incredible. That Whirinaki, good morning, Whirinaki Wharitaonga is amazing. Love Upper Hutt, what's not to love? And yeah, the team are incredible. It's such a breeze and totally enjoyed it. If you came along, I got to see a few people, and many of you came along and then you went there and you're like, where's Marie? She's gone. And I was all done and dusted by 11:40. Yes, I know, 11:40. Usually I would have actually hung around and done some shopping myself and caught up with people and just hung out and chilled. But unfortunately, I had a pressing family matter that I had to get back to in Palmerston North, so I was out of there like a cut cat. Rachel was just saying, good morning, we survived Saturday too from Goodwill Hunting. It was good to catch up with you and Bruce as well. I know it was intense, wasn't it, Rach? It was so intense. There were I saw the video, queues of people running around the block. All I saw for literally an hour and a half was a wall of people. So it was amazing. It's always such a wonderful energy there. I really totally love it. So it was so good to see everybody. And as many of you have seen, the flight pack party was certainly a party, and there's a few hangovers today, which I've been working through here in the team. Heather and Claire are going like absolute demons out the back, getting everything picked, packed, and dispatched. Now, it is easier. Pack parties are easier to pick, pack, and dispatch than normal orders, but it is safe to say, just looking at the volume that we received over the 2 days, there could be a few working delays. I'm picking maybe 2 to 3 working days potentially on top of normal. So don't be alarmed if you get to sort of the end of the week and you're thinking, oh, my order's not here yet. It might just take a few extra days, particularly if you are in the South Island or rural delivery. But fear not. Fear not. We had a pretty good amount of stock, and there was these loads that will be going out. So it's really exciting. Very, very exciting. Didn't even bother bringing my knitting in to show you this morning, because I can tell you right now, I knit a grand total over the weekend of 3 rows. That's all I did on the vest. Because I was travelling so much between up and down the coast, the Bay, Palmerston North, and back over the hill to home yesterday. Didn't even get a chance to get near it, really, to be brutally honest. But that's all right. And the phone's about to go off in a second. But we're going to cover that up and ignore it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to cover up the phone and ignore it. Because I'm here by myself. There we go. You can hear it there. What else has been going on? Yes, pack party's been going on. Oh, cowl. Now, I have to say, I've had some lovely messages because I cleared the email this morning about the cowl. And you guys are loving the cowl. I love the cowl. Thank you so much on that. And I've seen some completed projects and people doing, first time knitting in the round, really, really enjoying it. I'm delighted. I'm delighted you like it. I like it. I'm really happy with it. So this, if you haven't seen this is the Harding Road cowl. It is available on Ravelry as well, and I did actually flick it out in a newsletter. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. This one used actually just over 1 ball. So if you actually, to be fair, if you could knock out a repeat and just do it with 3 different balls, 3 different colors, choose something with lots of contrast, and you get this wonderful mosaic tessellating pattern, slip stitch knitting. Really, really easy, loads of fun. This one is using, now to be fair, I did use black pearl, but you could use rook or zodiac Scorpio in this one. The dark red was Cove. I think it was called Pirate Pride was the red. But again, actually there was some of that Skeinz possum that was in that really dark red that we had at the Epic sale, if you picked up some of that. Or you could actually change this dark colour out to anything else or even have quite an intense colour. And then the light colour is actually, would you believe, Padstow. Yes, Padstow from Chatswood. So it's actually quite I wanted to see what it would do with a yarn that wasn't fully solid. And it worked quite well. The trick, what works with this cowl, is the fact that there's such a big amount of contrast between the black and the Padstow. So if you are going to do it, should have grabbed one of the others. If you are going to do it and you want to get quite a clear tessellation, you need to have a really, really big set of contrast between at least two of your colours, like very huge amount of contrast. And then you can pick something. I would then pick a bright or a pop in the middle. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. And I'm so thrilled that you guys are happy with it too. I find it a really enjoyable thing to knit, because once you start knitting it, you actually see that it's essentially a 4-row pattern repeat, but you're alternating 3 sets of colours. And you very, very, very quickly get into the rhythm of it. You can read your knitting really easy and quickly on it, and it's actually quite a nice, mindless sort of winter knit. The other thing too with this is that if you're wanting to extend it, like I've just made this cowl this big to fit around here because I quite like them here. So then if you're wearing a winter jacket, you've got the jacket coming out, and then this sort of pops out like a little bit of a collar. So that's why I've designed it at this length. Some people actually like them longer. So all you have to do is just literally just double the number of your stitches. So work your stitch counts and double the amount of yarn. It's as simple as that. And then just keep going and you can wrap it around. But I did deliberately make it the size that it is. So it sort of bunches here. So when you put a winter coat on, you have this lovely sort of ruff of colour. Doesn't that sound good? A ruff of colour. You have a ruff of colour. That's what you have. So that's the cowl. I actually took mine. Have I got that here? No, it's in the bag at home. I actually took one of the original ones that I did in Nomad. Do you remember that? The Nomad yard with the yak in it? That's when I first did it. And I was going to put this cowl out then, way back in the day, when I did Nomad. And just never got round to it. Oh, here we go. Here's Mrs. She's been out packing. I was just saying, you're out there having quite the pack party, you and Heather. Oh, there we go. See? It's all on out there. All on. Now, the other thing I wanted to let you know too, and just seeing Rachel has just reminded me, we've refreshed our opal yarns. This is the time that we all need toasty toes, and it's cold and with different bits and pieces with socks. So we've got all our opals have been, the 2 current collections have been restocked, including that fabulous opal decay. And there is, I think, a 6-ply. I'm not sure whether that's been loaded up yet, but if definitely all in store. So much fun to knit with. And the sole, I saw actually in my little knitting group, one of our ladies is currently overseas at the moment. She posted up the socks she knitted as her plane, knitting on the plane and stuff. She's finished them in our sole, and it looks incredible. So if you're a sock knitter, this is definitely the time to jump into your socks. One of the things I will say with the sole, and I forget about this all the time, as you guys know, I love knitting. I always have what I call my purse knitting, and lo and behold, shock horror, stop the presses. I've got another Niada on the needles, just with a single roving merino that I've got my, actually I'll turn it round because you guys have probably never seen this. So this is there we go. That's my little library stash there. And there's a little, there we go. There's buckets and bins and all sorts of things. And all of that stuff is mostly single walls. So these single walls or single skeins. There may be the odd, I think I've got one thing in there that might be a garment lot. In fact, I need to grab it and do something with it, because I think that I have 4 skeins of one thing in there. But mostly that are all singles, really crazy unicorn skeins. That's what's in that pile. Weird things. Because I'm a magpie and I can't help myself. And I find these weird and wonderful things when I'm traveling, and I'll be attracted. 9 times out of 10, I'm usually attracted by the yarn, not the colour. I actually have this, Ethan and I have this conversation all the time. I'm definitely someone who is attracted by a yarn. So this is a classic case in point of this. This is a Debbie Bliss Winter Garden, and I can't even tell you where I got this from. Can't even tell you, but I got it because it's of the construction. See the chainette construction, and it's sort of like a little recycled bit and bob, and it's a chunky yarn, and it's a fascinating yarn. So I bought it because of the yarn. I know, I'm weird. Here's another example. This is definitely on one of my American travels. And actually, the time I bought this, I also bought those cascades, which ended up in one of the ratio ponchos. And that's a cascade that I bought, which is Superwash 220 FX. And I just did it because of that spray dye effect, and whether or not we could manage to do something like that here. And I have a whole single skein of this. I seriously have an entire, that's what the whole collection is, which is why things like, Margaret's saying Scream's hat. Totally. Which is why I create a lot of designs like this, like the cowl, like the ratio poncho, because often a lot of them are created to use up all these weird-as bits and pieces that I have. What else have I got floating? Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, here we go. These are another good examples, actually, because I bought these while I was so that's one I bought in South America. Isn't that cute? And I bought it. It's a single roving, and you know that I'm rather fond of single roving, and it just breaks my heart that a lot of people aren't. I have actually got 2 of these. This is a silk blend, so it's just utterly divine. It's a finer version of our burlesque, if you remember our burlesque back in the day. This is Manos at Uruguay, and I think it's 70% merino, 30% silk. So it's only a 50 gram. I think I've got a couple of those. So that'll end up in a cowl, or actually probably I'll do a ratio poncho and throw that in there. This is Araucania. Nuble. I bought this while I was away too. What's this one? Single roving again. Shocker. Hold the phone, caller. Shocker, wool silk. Wool silk single roving. And it's got a little buddy. I bought a buddy with it. Oh, there it's. Oh, look, its buddy was sitting next to it. Right. Because I figured it needed a friend. So, yeah, I know. It's the sort of stuff I've got. I even have stuff like, it's not just traveling. I mean, I'm shocking. I will find things. Please tell me someone else is like this. Or is it just me? Do I have a problem? This is another one. I picked this up out of a bargain bin because they don't make this yarn anymore. Look, it's even still got the $5 price tag on it because it was in a clearance bin. This is 30% possum, 70% merino. Now, I have actually made a hat in this, which is on my Revelry page because I've had this for a while. So that's that. See, possum. I've got 2 more skeins of this, which will probably again end up. And I actually had it's woolen spun. Gorgeous. So that'll end up. I know, I can't help myself. And then I've got this, which I adore. And the Japanese do yarn so differently. So I have got a lot of Japanese yarn in there because I've got a friend. Rachel, you're not alone. Picked up a lot of random yarn recently. Thank you, Rachel. People don't understand. Yeah, well, you would have bought it heaps, actually. Such a pity I didn't get a chance because they've just come back from Europe. And that's just it. And I've got Lopi yarns. I've got weird and wonderful things because people interpret yarn so differently. And this is another one I love. This is Genmu. And what this is actually a wrap yarn. And this is one that I've been desperate to try and replicate here. So it's actually essentially like a single roving, but it's got a little thread that's wrapped around the outside that just helps to create a little bit of texture. So you still get the effect of the single roving. It's very, very soft, but that wrap helps hold everything together. But of course, those are all the things that we play around with, and can we do it and can't we do it? And now that the mill's up for sale, sort of all that kind of stuff's been put on the parked bench, as it were. But that's all right. It'll potentially happen. It's because this is just it. You have to, it's finding something different and quirky and new. And I mean, we always play around with color, but yeah, something quirky and new. Anyway, flight. You guys love flight. I just had this sitting here. This sits over the back of my chair because it's done in roving, which I took to Capital Fibre Fest last year. And I just leave this one here because if I'm cold and I come in the morning, I just throw it over. And that's the basket weaver shawl, Stephen West. And of course, he doesn't have, I mean, Stephen, as you know, is the master of the big, bright, bold, colourful shawls. And he really only has a couple that aren't in the zone, which are Basket Weaver and Dustland. I love this. I love the Basket Weaver. There is also the sweater now. To be fair, actually, I'm quite inclined if I were to go shawling again, I'd possibly do this again. This is quite a good project. If you've bought a pack of DK in the flight, you'll get this out of a pack of DK. It's really lovely. And there we go. Look, you will, because that's 455 grams according to my little label. So there you go. You will actually get that out of a pack of DK. It's actually a perfect pattern. It's just uses packs ideal. Grab Pearl Soho pattern. Yeah, Margaret was saying, and to use up some single skeins. Well, this is just it. You just have to, and the ratio poncho that I have is so perfect for all of that sort of stuff, because that's why I created it. It was to use up all these weird and wonderful scrappy bits and pieces that I have. And it doesn't, I mean, you've probably seen the ponchos that I've had. One poncho is just all based on sort of, I've got, I had enough Malabrigo to be able to use the base in between. And then I mixed and matched a whole bunch of different weird and wonderful things. So a lot of it is about just collating and curating a story and then actually pulling them through. And even things like this, this is the Swancho. If you've got like a couple of 100 gram skeins, well, you can actually do your colour work in this and then build your solid colour around it. Yeah, it's just about sort of using all those bits and pieces up. But again, that's why I create these and throw them out. And I've got another one that I've been bouncing. It's actually the year after. You've got the cowl, but I did actually do the hat back in the day, and I've knit several of them, and I have written notes down somewhere, but I need to probably re-knit it and just, get that written down. That could be the next one. I get round. I'm like the round dish, the round to it. I get there eventually. I think that's about all I'm going to let you know today, because as I said, I'm in here by myself and I think the phone's about to go off again any minute. I will catch you again on Thursday, but until then, you have a great weekend, and thank you again to all the team at Capital Fibre Fest. You are incredible, and we do actually appreciate everything that you do. It was wonderful, and Margaret and her team, I will be there. I will be there in Auckland. Totally different this time in Auckland, so it's not going to be a pack party. We've got something completely different planned for Auckland and that weekend, so can't wait. I'll see you then. Take care.